After 10 years of manipulation, my partner Nick's rebound Makayla thinks keeping their baby a secret is safe. I'll be a mom in the most selfish way possible, she said, but I'm done hiding. I will not be silenced. This explosive story is just getting started. I, a 39-year-old female named Noi, have been in a relationship with my partner, a 39-year-old male named Nick, for almost a decade. We have two young boys and recently experienced the loss of twin girls at 13 weeks into the pregnancy. To provide some context, we have been attempting to navigate the aftermath of his affair with a 21-year-old undocumented Mexican woman he encountered at his job site during the summer of 2022. He is employed by the Carpenters Union, and he frequently changes job sites. I learned that he physically cheated on me 3 times with her just 3 weeks before the birth of our second son. This situation was a profoundly dark and challenging time for me, and to be quite honest, I am still struggling to escape this depressive state, which I refer to as Nick, who is constantly hovering over me. I have lost 20 pounds, my hair has become thin, my face is almost unrecognizable, and my mental health is not where it should be. The betrayal has evoked feelings within me that I have never experienced before, leaving me feeling lost and confused. We attended couples therapy, and I laid out several conditions that needed to be met for me to even consider the possibility of reconciling, including individual therapy, continued couples therapy, sharing our locations, spending more one-on-one time together, fostering open communication, and having him clean up his Facebook account, which should have been a simple task, correct? These points were all discussed, addressed, and agreed upon to be implemented before the end of the year 2023. The consequences were clearly stated. I would not feel comfortable living under the same roof, and he would need to move out. By early November, tensions escalated as no progress had been made on his part, so I took his belongings and made sure they were ready by the door for his arrival from work. Instead of expressing frustration over our rocky relationship, he made a decision that only he was aware of. Because I had touched his belongings again, he had been kicked out multiple times due to his blatant disrespect toward me and our family. He believed this marked the end of our relationship, and he set out to secure the next best option to believe his sob story and sleep with her as soon as possible. For nearly 3 weeks, he rarely visited his boys, opting instead to invest time in nurturing his new relationship with Makayla. I was unaware of her existence until it was too late during my pregnancy with our twin girls. I instructed him to stay away from me, and for legal reasons, I cannot disclose whether she was still in the picture at that point. I was serious about this because our entire relationship had lasted as long as it did due to our legal circumstances. This troubling interaction had been occurring since our first separation in 2020. Even with legal proceedings underway, did this deter him? No. I warned him to see such behavior or I would inform Makayla the rebound about his actions or demand he leave me alone. According to him, he visited her residence in eastern Connecticut, parked in front of her garage where her Tesla was, called her outside, and confessed in the garage that he was being dishonest and still involved with me. This toxic cycle had become normalized for me, and I stopped prioritizing myself. We would argue, he would leave, cheat in some way, return, refuse to discuss anything, ignore my attempts to communicate, and I remained unaware of any reckless behavior he might have engaged in because I genuinely believed he would never betray me like that. He was extremely charming, often spoke grandly, and could be very persuasive with his lies. After confessing to her, Makayla deemed him an honest man and praised him for his courage to tell the truth. According to him, she claimed to be sterile and unable to conceive, which meant that from the very beginning they had been engaging in unprotected sex while still in litigation with me. I was horrified to discover that even after confessing, she decided to initiate contact with him for sex, even though he was supposedly working things out with me. I had little knowledge of what transpired between the two of them, and I continually implored him to tell me the truth about who she was and the nature of their brief relationship before he chose to come back into my life and not leave me alone. He refused to share any information, raising my suspicions. During his affair with Lily in the summer of 2022, he disclosed everything because it was a prerequisite I had stated if he wanted to move forward. Thus, I expected the same transparency regarding Makayla. He persisted in dismissing my feelings, disregarding my pain, tears, weight loss, and the fact that I was not myself because he was neither honest with me nor respecting my boundaries. I neglected my own well-being and began to experience spotting. I went to the emergency room and he emerged from behind my bushes as I walked to my car, trailing me to the hospital where we discovered together that I had miscarried our girls. I have not been myself since the birth of my second son. Not even a week after my miscarriage, he began to slowly divulge some truth, but only after pleading for forgiveness and asking if we could work through anything. He revealed, "She's pregnant." I felt as if I had died inside. All I wanted was a name, and that was what he chose to tell me. Apparently, after claiming she was infertile, she slept with him a few more times. They barely knew each other for about a month, and even after he confessed his wrongdoings, this pregnant woman who claimed to be unable to conceive told him she was expecting and did not want him to be involved at all. She asked him not to tell me. He also did not inform her that I was indeed pregnant when he was derogatorily discussing me with her regarding the possibility of my pregnancy. Thus, both of them knew I might be pregnant while still engaging in unprotected sex several more times. He performed the whole routine of, if it is mine, then I will be in that child's life like my other children, and so on. In summary, my question is, what does Makayla expect when she requests to keep her pregnancy a secret and then continues to contact him for updates regarding their child? Is she expecting him to take more time away from our boys to focus on his selfish desires rather than spending quality time with them? Is she anticipating that he will leave abruptly to be with her when she gives birth? If she wanted to keep this a secret, why is she still communicating with him about the baby? Or is it because both of these individuals chose to continue their sexual relationship while I was still involved in his life? 10 years together, and you trust a man who has been out of the house for less than a week and wishes to end a 10-year relationship? Or were you upset that he did not choose to stay with you, which I wish he had, and told you he still loves me? Therefore, you decide to have a child with a man who already has a family after only knowing each other and sleeping together a handful of times for just 1 month, despite him expressing that it was a poor decision and too soon. You clearly do not want to keep this a secret, so I will no longer protect these two individuals who believe keeping such a secret was a wise decision. I intend to publicly share their secret as part of my healing journey. Being a mother is one of the most selfless roles one can undertake, yet here you are, Makayla, attempting to become a mother in the most selfish manner imaginable. And do not think he has escaped my wrath. I am stronger now, wiser, and have support from all sides, and I will not be silenced. 10 years of his manipulation is nearing its conclusion, and I feel empowered as I plan my departure. I am asserting my truth. I desire nothing more than to heal and be the most present and devoted mother I can be for my boys. I hope both of you can find your way back together and live foolishly ever after with the choices that led you to this point. So wherever you are hiding, Makayla, from Eastern Connecticut, where you met my children's father down the street from his job site for the construction of the new Great Wolf Lodge at Foxwoods Casino, and who drives a Tesla and owns her home yet wishes to supposedly escape across the state, remember that your fear of me becoming a stepmother is unfounded. Judging by his actions, that would occur because that child is my kid's sibling, and you too thought this decision was meant for my protection. I want to go bigger, sharing their secret, narrating my story about 10 years of trauma, all the chaos he and his extended family thrive in, and creating a series about the past 10 years of my life on TikTok. I have already gone viral once, garnering 22.4K views on one of my videos. I hope this blows up tremendously. Story 2. Caught in a love triangle, I can't stop missing F21 even while dating the supportive and kind F20. Why can't I just feel happy, I wonder, as my heart races for the girl who called my dad hot and picked me up at the airport? Can I ever break free from this confusion? Hello, everyone's. I am a 21-year-old male, currently dating a 20-year-old female, and as the title suggests, I am uncertain about my feelings. I am new to seeking advice here, so I hope someone can provide me with an objective perspective on my situation. I began dating fairly late, approximately 9 months ago when I was still 20 years old. I was using dating applications back then as I am quite introverted and typically do not frequent places where one can meet many singles. After a few weeks, I started conversing with one girl and we connected quite well. I still remember my heart racing and I was always excited to see her messages. I am sure she felt similarly about me. Due to our jobs and the considerable distance between us, we did not meet for some time. Instead, we chatted and video called almost every day. She often woke me up at 2 a.m. because of her unusual work schedule so that we could talk before she left. We engaged in various activities together, and eventually I deleted my dating applications again, and we kind of informally became exclusive. Nobody explicitly proposed it, but we both acknowledged at some point that we saw each other as exclusive. I was deeply in love, especially considering we had not met in person. Early on, we started planning to meet, even though it was challenging for both of us due to our jobs. However, I managed to take vacation in November of the previous year, and I arranged everything to meet her. My accommodations, my flight, and so forth. After a while, I began to feel suspicious as she started following many boys on social media, and it seemed like every day she was adding someone new. I did not mind this at first since we were not an official couple, and it was, of course, her prerogative regarding whom she followed. However, she also began to share less and less about what she was doing after work with me. From her Instagram stories and some of the things she mentioned, I recognized that she went out frequently with both her female and male friends. Still, none of this fully explained why she had become so quiet lately and why she no longer had much time to talk. Moreover, her mood changed significantly due to hormonal fluctuations, which she had informed me about, and it felt like I was conversing with a different person each day. Ultimately, my jealousy and curiosity got the better of me, and I re-downloaded the dating applications where I found her profile with new pictures. I decided to use a friend's account to message her, and she agreed to go on a date with him even though I was the one messaging her. Although we were not yet officially a couple, it hurt to see this, and I confronted her. Initially, she apologized, stating that she never intended to hurt me. However, when she realized I was not accepting her apology easily, she grew defensive, claiming that I should not stalk her and that it was my problem if I felt jealous and needed to trust her. How was I supposed to do that if I saw evidence to the contrary? I should also mention that this was not the only instance of her mistreating me. She often commented on how attractive my friends were, as well as my father, making jokes about it to the point where she claimed she could envision being intimate with my dad. Additionally, during our video calls, she would tell me how attractive some boys were whom she saw on the street. When I expressed my discomfort with her comments, she would repeatedly suggest that I was simply insecure. She later pressured me to buy her flowers and a shirt, but after I explained that I was too busy to do so and would rather save my money for our planned activities together, she ghosted me for a few days. I will not list every lie or painful comment, as that would take too long, so I will get to my main point. Around late October, our conversations became infrequent, and I had already arranged my trip. Thus, I returned to the dating applications because I did not want to cancel my vacation, my first vacation in 2 years, but also did not want to spend my time there alone. That is when I met another girl 20 years old, the one I am currently dating, who is the complete opposite of the first girl 21 years old with whom I initially connected. She is kind, empathetic, and considerate of my feelings. She also takes me seriously. Everything went well and we developed feelings for one another. I informed her about my situation and asked if she would like to meet me since I would be in her hometown for approximately 2 weeks. We agreed, began making plans, and communicated frequently for the month leading up to our meeting. However, I could never fully forget about the first girl, so when I landed at the airport in her hometown, I texted her a picture of my arrival. She immediately called me and asked if I could wait so she could pick me up. I obliged without informing the second girl about this. She was busy at work and initially had no time during the first 2 days of my stay. I vividly recall the day she picked me up and the subsequent day. I had never felt so alive. Those 3 days were the best I have experienced in a long time. We spent all day and night going out, and I could feel all her love when we finally met in person. I had never felt such joy before. We were spontaneous and enjoyed each other's company until the hours slipped away, a feeling I had never experienced with anyone else. It could have all ended well there, perhaps, but on day 3, the second girl surprised me by showing up at the place where I was staying. I did not know what to say, as I had planned to go out later with the first girl, but it seemed crucial for the second girl to see me, and perhaps she had stronger feelings for me than I had for her at that moment. Feeling guilty, I invited her inside, which made for a very awkward situation. I did not want to be there but was too afraid to tell her what had happened earlier, so I simply claimed that I felt unwell and that she needed to leave early and could not stay the night. I acknowledged this was not kind. She became emotional, and somehow at one point we began kissing, and we made out. Don't ask me how it happened. I am unsure whether it was merely my desire speaking or what transpired, but I was confused, and ultimately both girls discovered each other's existence later. I essentially destroyed both relationships, and by the end of my vacation I had caused heartbreak for all three of us. After speaking with my mother and friends, I decided it was best to cut contact with the first girl due to her toxic behavior in the past, and because I was apprehensive that a long-distance relationship with her could not work out in the long term. However, I maintained contact with the second girl and gradually began to rebuild our relationship. She provided me with stability and support, even though I was initially the one who had caused the damage. I have always admired her kindness and good nature, as well as her unwavering belief in the goodness within me. We decided to give our relationship another chance, and I plan to visit her again in a few months as I was busy with my work right now. Everything seemed to be going well, but after seeing her again 3 days ago, my life feels empty. I miss the excitement I had with the first girl, I miss her, and I miss how she made me feel. I feel guilty and confused by these emotions because the second girl provides everything a man could desire in a relationship. We are not official yet, but I believe she expects me to propose being her boyfriend during my visit. However, I do not feel ready for this and it does not seem right. I trust her completely. She shows me immense love, always supports me, and understands my feelings while forgiving my past mistakes. She is truly wonderful in every aspect, and I should simply enjoy my time with her. But all I feel is a longing for what I experienced with the first girl. I also maintained communication with the first girl until my trip began, and I feel badly about it, but there is something missing in my life without her. I hope someone can help me, as I sense that things are becoming serious now, and I am afraid of being trapped in a relationship that does not fulfill me. Yet, I also do not want to give up on the second girl, as she is the kindest and most lovely person I know. The first girl is like a drug to me. She can make me feel amazing one day and give me a terrible hangover the next. However, it seems I cannot let her go either. In any case, I hope everyone reading this has a pleasant night, and I thank you in advance for any advice or questions, as I may have omitted some important details. Story 3. I was devastated when I discovered my girlfriend cheated just weeks after moving in together. I didn't mean to make you feel guilty, she claimed, as I begged her to love me more. Now I'm questioning everything. Am I just another chore for her? Can I really stay? Please respond, everyone. Just listen to me for a moment. I am 21 years old female and my partner is also 21 years old female. I have been with her for approximately 6 years and we will reach 7 years together in July. Yes, I understand that we were young and we still are. To provide some background about us, we faced challenges at the beginning of our relationship. I could not see her much because her family was not accepting of our same-sex relationship, and that situation persisted for about a year. We now live together and have been doing so since we turned 18. When she moved in, I discovered that she had been unfaithful. After drinking heavily one night and experiencing an annoying feeling in my gut, I checked her phone and found evidence of her texting multiple guys from her workplace. She claims nothing inappropriate occurred, but how can I be sure? The worst part is that when I confronted her the following day, clearly upset, she immediately attempted to leave, knowing that I would plead with her to stay. Can you believe I felt guilty and could not let her go? She had just got my name tattooed on her and had only moved in just weeks earlier. Later, we had a serious conversation in which I asked her to be honest about all the things she had done, and we agreed to leave it in the past. To my disappointment, there were multiple instances of infidelity, not just the one I initially discovered. It makes me feel foolish, yet I stayed. Currently, I have been reflecting on many things. I have never been the type of person to talk to anyone about my emotional pain or just about anything troubling me. For example, 2 of my best friends passed away about 2 years ago and nobody knew. I never discussed it with anyone, nor did I allow myself to grieve or even cry. I understood that eventually all those suppressed feelings would resurface, and indeed they are now. I am on medication that is calming me down and allowing me to process my emotions, which has prompted me to question many aspects of my life. For instance, do I want to be loved this way for the rest of my life? Throughout our 6 years together, I have repeatedly begged her to express her love for me in a way that I can feel it. I appreciate compliments and want to be told that I smell good, that I look nice, or would like to receive a few kisses throughout the day or for my hand to be held, among other things. She seems to do this for the first few days and then stops. I have asked her for this about 3 times, but after a while I chose to stop bringing it up because I felt annoying. Recently I brought it up again and she said she would try. She has been trying and has not stopped for almost a month, but now guess what? I find it somewhat uncomfortable. It's like I don't know how to react when she does something sweet. I begged for affection for so long and she frequently apologizes, mentioning she has much on her plate and does not realize her lack of affectionate gestures. However, now I find that I do not want it anymore. It makes me feel like I am just another obligation on her to-do list. It feels as if showing me love is something she feels compelled to do. All of these thoughts have been occupying my mind because she cheated on me quite a while ago, and I do not want to hold it against her. Yet reflecting during this space I have to think, I realize she is with me all the time and she hasn't cheated on me. What if that is the only reason? What if she does not cheat simply because she does not have the opportunity? I do not want to feel as though I have to be around all the time to prevent it, but that is how it seems to be feeling. Aside from this, she is a wonderful person. She cooks for me, cleans for me, and has always been caring toward me and my mental health, considering what I have gone through. However, friends also do those things, so I am uncertain. Additionally, the reason we are together constantly is not due to my possessiveness. Rather, it is because she has become attached to me and feels lonely when she is alone. This attachment is another reason I contemplate things so often, as I would feel guilty. And I am not the type of person to be cruel or to do anything terrible without overthinking it for an extended period. The worst thing I have done to her, which she holds against me, is getting close to a friend who was strictly platonic. I did not want to cut off contact with her or stop talking to her, as my partner wanted, and I eventually had to do so because she would not let it go. She continues to hold the fact that I did not do it instantly against me, but I assure you it was nothing more than friendship. Although she used to bring it up constantly, she has now stopped and only makes jokes such as saying, "Oh, your best friend used to have one, huh?" I genuinely cared for this person because she provided me with an escape and was such a good friend during difficult times with my partner and her family. She was there for me, you know. So I guess my question is, am I unreasonable for having these thoughts about whether I can stay with her after all this time since the infidelity? With all these thoughts swirling in my mind, what would you do? I love her deeply, but sometimes it is painful to endure all these overwhelming emotions. Recently, TikTok has been showing me videos about how it is acceptable to leave someone when the right person meets the wrong timing, and now it is bombarding me with breakup content. I do not want to believe that this is influencing my thoughts, as I know how I feel, or at least I would like to think I do.